What's up, y'all? It's Kristen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is a chilly day out here in the country, so we're going to warm up with a little yoga flow. It'll be pretty gentle, but we'll keep things moving and really focus on stretching out, kind of loving on the neck and the shoulders. So go ahead and roll out your yoga mat. No props needed for this class. Find yourself a comfortable seat. Close down your eyes, relax your shoulders, soften your jaw. Just let your hands rest on top of your knees, palms face down. And we'll get centered here with 3 centering breaths together, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Go ahead and take a deep inhale. Pause at the top, and then open your mouth and sigh it out. Good, 2 more just like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Pause at the top, and then let it go. Completely empty. Beautiful, 1 more just like that. Inhale through the nose, fill up. Pause at the top, and then a nice big strong exhale out. At the bottom of this breath, gently sealing your lips, continuing to breathe steadily in and out through the nose. And on your next inhale, you're going to let your right ear drop over towards your right shoulder. Nice. As you exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. Stretch out through the back side of the neck. Looping the head on around on the next in-breath, left ear, left shoulder. And then exhale, dropping the chin to the chest. And we'll do that 2 more times, going side to side. Inhaling right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. 1 more time. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Right ear, rather. And then exhale, chin to chest. Last one, this time. Left ear, left shoulder. And then exhale, chin to chest. You guessed it. Let's go ahead and lift the head back up to center. Stack your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. Keep sitting nice and tall. I want you to inhale and lift your shoulders straight up to your ears. As you exhale, roll them back and down away from the ears. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. And then exhale, drop them back and down. 1 more like that. Inhale, lift the shoulders up, circle them back and down. Nice job. On your next inhale, both arms are going to reach up to the sky. As you exhale, your right hand will come down. Reach up and over with your left arm. Just find a side body stretch here. Rooting down through the left sitting bone. You can look up if that feels okay for your neck. If you'd rather look down, by all means, be my guest. This practice is all about what works for you today. Meet yourself where you are. Let's inhale back up to center. Right arm sweeps up. And then we'll switch that out. Exhale, left hand down. Right arm reaches up and over. Good. Press down through your right sitting bone here. Take your gaze wherever feels best for your neck. Awesome. And then inhale, bring it right back to center. Left arm sweeps up. As you exhale, this time twist to your right. Right hand comes behind you. Left hand grabs hold of that right knee as you rotate around to the right, maybe gazing over the right shoulder. Stay here for 1 more breath and think about lengthening up through the crown. Exhale to anchor down through both sitting bones. And then inhale to gently unwind, come back to center. Both arms sweep up. We'll switch it out and twist to the other side. As you breathe out, left hand comes behind you. Right hand to the left knee. Maybe looking over the left shoulder. As you inhale, sit tall, grow the spine. And as you exhale, anchor down. Awesome job. 1 more time, come back to center. Inhale to sweep the arms up. This time as you exhale, just take those hands right out in front of you, rolling over your ankles and knees and coming into tabletop. Bringing your wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Press down through the tops of your feet as you inhale, stretch your belly down, lift your heart, cow pose. Exhale, press the ground away. Start to round your spine, hollow out the low belly, chin to the chest. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, round it out. One more time, inhale, arching the back. Exhale to round, this time letting the hips melt back towards the heels. Take your knees nice and wide, finding extended child's pose here. Arms stretch out in front of you. Forehead can come down onto the mat. Take a second here just to let your body soften into this shape. Relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your head and your neck as best as you can. Softening through your hips. Take a breath in. Deep breath out. And then we're going to thread the needle from this child's pose. Taking your right arm, reach it underneath the left arm. You're going to turn to look towards those right fingers. So the right side of your head is resting on the mat. Should feel a little stretch here for the back of the right shoulder. And if you want, you can take this left arm behind the low back as well, wiggling those left fingertips over to the right hip crease, looking for a bind here so that you can leverage this left shoulder open a little bit more towards the ceiling or the sky above you. Good. Take a breath in here. Exhale, gently release. Go ahead and stretch that right arm back out. We're just going to switch this out. So now we're threading the left arm underneath the right. Coming onto the left side of the face, coming onto the back of that left shoulder. Settling in there for just a couple breaths, maybe finding the half bind. This time the right arm will go behind the low back. Breathing into any tightness that you might feel here, any sensation. One more inhale. And then exhale, gently start to unwind yourself. Walk those hands in towards your knees to bring yourself up and out of child's pose. You're going to walk your knees back underneath the hips. And then start to walk your hands way out in front of you. It's similar to child's. We're coming into puppy pose. But instead of melting the hips back and down, we're going to leave them lifted and elevated up over the knees. So you may rest down onto your forearms. You may bring your forehead all the way down to the mat. Maybe your chin. Maybe your chest. We're all going to look a little bit different in this position. So find what works for you here. We'll take about 3 or 4 really deep breaths. And just kind of notice what you feel. Can you feel a stretch across the chest? Maybe finding some extra length or space or broadening between the collarbones. Let your shoulders relax as best as you can here. This can be a pretty intense back bend. So please listen to your body. Take breaks when you need to take breaks. You have one more breath in here. One more breath out. And then from your puppy pose, you're just going to lower all the way down onto your belly and come into Sphinx. Propped up on your forearms. If you want a little bit less sensation in the low back, walk your hands forward. You can also take your feet a little bit wider just to give yourself some more space. And then as you inhale, lift your heart between your shoulders. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck, reach up through the top of the head. Stay right there as you exhale. Good. Now, continuing to press the ground away through the forearms. This time as you breathe in, can you drop your head back? And as you breathe out, can you drop your head forward, taking your chin towards your chest? Good. Do that again. Inhale to lift the chin up towards the sky. Head drops back, opening up through the throat. And then exhale to drop the head down and in. One more like that. Breathe in, lift up. Chin reaches up. Exhale, drop the head down, chin to the chest. And then release all the way down onto your chest. Slide your right arm out to the right side. Palm of that hand is face down. We're going to take it into a whale pose. So you're rolling over your right shoulder. Coming onto the right side body, you can stack your left leg on top of your right leg here. You can kickstand your left foot if you have the availability in your body. It can come behind the right leg or even in front of the right leg. Good. And then taking 3 or 4 breaths here. Again, there's an option for the half bind. Last couple rounds of breath, and then we'll switch sides. Beautiful. Take your time as you ease back onto your stomach. Slide that right hand in. And then when you're ready, reach your left arm out to the left side, and we'll start to come into whale pose on the opposite side. So this time rolling over your left shoulder. Coming onto the left side body. Letting your head rest down if at all possible. Release any tension through the neck. You can stack your right leg on top of your left, or you can plant the right foot either behind or in front of that bottom leg. See what works for you. It may be different on this side. Listening to your body, maybe the half bind is appropriate for you. 3 or 4 breaths wherever you are. Last 2 rounds of breath right here. And then gently start to roll back over on to your belly. You're going to press back up onto your hands and knees after you slide that left hand back in. And then tuck your toes under. We're coming kind of through a downward facing dog, but right away we're just going to bring ourselves into a ragdoll pose. So walking the feet up towards the hands back towards the feet. Put a nice deep bend in your knees here. Be generous with it. Let your upper body drape down over your legs. Head just falls heavy. Let it go. Maybe you even give your head a couple shakes, yes and no. Releasing any tension that you may be holding on to through the neck. Feel any stress melt off of your shoulders. You're welcome to let the arms hang down, or maybe you find a bind. You can take hold of opposite elbows, opposite shoulders, and maybe you interlace the fingers at the back of your head. See what works for you here. And we'll take a few breaths. Stillness is fine. Movement is fine. If you're craving a little movement, maybe just some gentle sways side to side. And you might explore what it would feel like to straighten out one leg and then the other, and then maybe both at the same time. Notice the effect on your spine. Notice the effect on your hamstrings. Continue to let your head go, really focusing the release in the shoulders and the neck. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then if you have a bind, go ahead and release your arms. Just let them hang heavy. Soften into your knees if the legs are fully straight. And we're going to roll up really slowly, coming all the way up to standing. Just letting the arms hang, letting the head hang, coming up 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way up. Head comes up last. Adjust your clothes if you need to. Adjust your hair. Do what you got to do here, and then roll your shoulders up, back, and down a few times. And then let's do this together. Inhale to lift your shoulders straight up to your ears. And this time, instead of looping them back, you're going to exhale out your mouth and just drop them straight down like this. Let it feel good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift and squeeze. And then exhale, really just let it go. 1 more time. Breathe in, squeeze. Breathe out. Let it go. Nice job. On your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, sweep your arms back down by your sides. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach up, lengthen up, spark through the fingertips, and then exhale, release all the way back down. Nice. Last one. Inhale, big full body stretch here, reach, and then exhale, release, this time interlacing your fingers behind your back. We'll take a shoulder rinse. As you breathe in, drive your knuckles down towards the ground. Maybe you drop the head back here. Maybe you stay here. If you want to add in the forward fold, soften into your knees and gently start to let your torso drape down over your legs. Again, letting the head fully release. Maybe yes and no, little nods, little shakes. Permission to relax any tightness in the neck. Breathing into the fronts of the shoulders, rooting down through the soles of your feet. 2 or 3 more breaths right here. Gently releasing your hands all the way to the mat on your next exhale. So if you were not folded forward, go ahead and make your way there. Take your time. We're going to plant our hands and just come back down into that tabletop. From there, rocking over to either side and having a seat. So I'm going to give you some options. You can take a cross-legged position. This one is called easy pose, although it may not be easy necessarily. Some of us might need to sit up on a pillow or a bolster to help alleviate tension in the hips and back. You could take a double pigeon pose here, stacking one shin on top of the other, parallel with the top of your yoga mat. Or you could take cow face pose, Gomukhasana, stacking, let's go with the right knee on top of the left. And so these are all options. There is not one that is better than the other. You get to choose. It's yogi's choice. Choose your own adventure. Let's have right leg on top or in front. And then we're going to lift our left arm up towards the sky. Let the elbow bend here. And then you'll take your right hand over to that left elbow just to help assist yourself into a deeper stretch. And then we're holding here and breathing. You're welcome to stay right here or take that right arm behind your back. Maybe you wiggle the fingers of each hand together, finding a little bind here. That's a big ask in the body. So if that doesn't happen, no worries. You could also just grab onto your shirt or even take like a belt or a dog leash or a yoga strap if you have it between your hands and let that be your leverage. So wherever you are is perfect. Once again, just find your breath. You can stay right here. Maybe you gently fold forward. Maybe you lean back. Maybe you find some side bending. See what works in your body here. 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. And then really gently release your arms. Just give them a little shake out here. I want you to stretch your left arm across your chest. Take your right hand to the left tricep and just start to hug that left arm in towards your chest a little more deeply. At the same time, can you relax your shoulders down away from your ears? Good. And then can you look towards your left fingertips? Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Stay for 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And then release. Give your arms a shake out. So we're going to switch sides. If you're in Gomukhasana legs like I am with the right leg on top of the left, we're going to do a fun little party trick here to change sides. So you're going to take your hands over to the left side, maybe just onto either side of that right foot, just framing it out with your fingertips. And then start to come up onto the balls of your feet. Keep your legs crossed. Start to walk your hands over to the left. You're just going to keep moving counterclockwise through a circle, pivoting on the balls of your feet. Legs are still crossed when you get back to the front of your mat and have a seat. The left leg should be on top of the right. Sometimes that one takes a few practices, a few tries. So if it didn't work, no worries. Get there however you need to get there. And once you have that left knee stacked on top of the right, you're going to send your right elbow up to the sky, bending the arm. Left hand comes over for that assist. Or maybe you take the left arm behind your back. So looking for that bind, maybe you have it, maybe you don't. This side may be entirely different for you. This side for me is a lot more accessible. It's just the way my body has always been in this shape. I honestly don't think any amount of stretching I do is going to balance me out when it comes to this pose, and that's okay. So we're just meeting ourselves where we are, working with what we have. Take a couple deep breaths. Maybe you lean forward. Maybe you do something different. Maybe you just sit tall. Awesome. And then gently release your arms. Give them a little shake out. When you're ready, crossing the right arm in front of the chest. Left hand comes over to pull that arm in. Drop your shoulders down. From here, look towards your right fingertips. Breathe. Very nice job. Release out of that. Shake out your arms one more time here. Go ahead and unwind your legs. No fancy way to get out of that one. We're going to come right into a seated forward fold. So extending both legs out in front of you. And for this one, let's just be really passive with it. We'll treat it more like a caterpillar pose if you're familiar with the yin practice of yoga. So just resting your arms down by your sides and letting your upper body kind of round here as you drop down towards your thighs. So you can let your head go completely if that feels okay in the back of the neck and in the upper back. And in the lower back, again, you may need to prop your seat up a little bit, give yourself some elevation. See if you can breathe into that space between your shoulder blades. Feel your shoulders melt towards the earth. Let your upper body be heavy here. Let your neck fully relax. Soften through the backs of your knees. And just breathe. 3 or 4 more. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then really slowly rolling yourself back up. Head can come up last. Lift your shoulders up, back and down, planting the hands back behind you. Go ahead and bend your knees here, plant your feet, and maybe just a couple of times side to side, finding some windshield wipers for the legs. And then bringing your knees back to center. I want you to lift your chest between your shoulders. Draw the shoulder heads back. Maybe drop your head back. Just breathing into your heart space here. A little back bend, heart opening. And gently release. From there, making your way back to where it all began, a comfortable seated position. You can close down your eyes here if you would like. Just rest your hands down in your lap. And just as we began this practice, we will end this practice with 3 centering breaths. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Pause at the top. And then open your mouth and completely empty. Do that again. Inhale through your nose, fill up. Pause at the top. Open mouth, exhale, audible sigh out. One more breath. This time as you inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Final stretch here. Let your palms come together. And as you exhale, draw your hands into your heart space, bowing your head in towards your heart. Finishing here with a heart and mind of gratitude. Thank you so very much for stepping onto your mat, for trusting me to be your guide. Know that the light and the love in me sees and honors the light and the love in you. Namaste.